How Adhyatma or spirituality and Kal Chakra or eternal cosmic cycle are interlinked to each other. Actually, it is a two-step process. First is to comprehend the current timeline with respect to overall cosmic cycle. And once comprehended, next step is to either participate or embrace the spirituality or ignore the inevitable cycle transformation phenomena which we are going to see in this presentation. This should be watched on a big screen as cosmic cycle details are all the details are present only on a single screen. Drama is our journey in time domain. We, the souls, are coming from the soul world and interacting with the environment or prakriti in human world with predefined rules. History is the time dimension of the drama, whereas geography is the space dimension of the drama. And the space dimension consists of soul world and, of course, human world, which is a part of the universe made up of five elements. This human world and soul world are isolated by a thermodynamic bound. Purush or a human soul is one of the actors, A1 of the drama, having the original quality or a sanskar or we can say swadharma, which is consisting of shanti, prem, sukh, anand, pavitrata, etc., which are residing in soul conscious or unconscious mind. Thought, which is originated from the conscious mind, is the energy of the soul, which is, of course, continuously discharging because frequency is greater than zero as per this formula. E is proportional to the frequency of the thought. Built-in drama script is also stored in unconscious mind of the soul. And sanskar is also residing in unconscious mind. And it is, of course, overrides. It's more powerful than a conscious mind, which is consisting of man, which thinks, and buddhi, which decides or visualizes. Prakriti or Panchbhut, or five elements, including our kaya or body, they follows the laws of thermodynamics, which is quantity is constant, which is a law of conservation of energy. But more important, is the quality of the energy keeps deteriorating, which we call it as a law of entropy, and which is, of course, reflected in this bouncing ball diagram and surrounded by a thermodynamic boundary. Analogy with heat engine is that heat engine has two states. One is ideal, where there is a controlled and deterministic discharge, followed by the real state, where there is uncontrolled or non-deterministic discharge. This is, kind of the natural transition from the new to old in course of time. We can see that your efficiency is always degrading, and that degradation is more in a real state than in an ideal state. Prakriti, which is dual in nature, is either the form of either an energy or wave, which is the multiple states at a time, which is normally the default mode, and that Prakriti gets converted or its behavior changes to the mass or a particle or a single state when observed as per the built-in script of the Purush, because conscious mind of the Purush only understands the particle state. Here the script which we are talking about is defined as a four-dimension predefined entity made up of three-dimension space of R, which is X, Y, Z, three dimension, plus one dimension of the time, as we'll see in theory of relativity specific. As we also see that as per the neuroscience, there is no free will. That is a predefined script which is stored in unconscious mind of the soul, which controls the thoughts which are generated by conscious mind. This is the quantum physics, and which says that script of the Purush controls the Prakriti. And this is a new neuroscience by Libet, where it also says that script of unconscious mind controls the conscious mind. And the definition of the script is the, or a word line, is defined as four dimension as of this diagram, but time is also dimension. That means that time also exists, past and future, that all already exist. This is the definition of the script. Now, the graphical representation of the journey or the script of the souls, where x-axis is the time, y-axis is the common deteriorating quality of the Prakriti, which we know is entropy from the law of thermodynamics, and that of Purush the quality of which we are going to derive, and that is going to be vikar. Because as per the quantum physics, Purush controls the Prakriti. That means quality of Prakriti, which is entropy, is also controlled by Purush, that we shall see. The start of the journey from predefined religion-based human tree, which is residing in the soul world, to the human world. We will see the law of first birth or law of attraction, when the charge of the Purush and the charge of the Prakriti in human world are equal. Automatically soul is attracted to the womb of the predestined mother. And there is a law of soul count in which means after every birth the soul count is reduced and human count of the souls it increases. And that is the reason why population always increases. Then of course there is a law of subsequent death and birth, which is nothing but change of address and change of dress. Here we see that body name N is of course variable, which is correlates to the Janma Dharma, whereas the predefined ID of the soul is a constant, which corresponds to the Swadharma. And of course, we know in course of time, both Swadharma and subsequently the Janma Dharma, both are deteriorating in the quality. Now let us see how the heat engine is mapped to the soul engine. So the mapping is that input heat energy is equivalent to script, which is either a deterministic script or a non-deterministic script. Exhaust energy, it's mapped to the thoughts or kind of a type of a sankal, whereas the exergy or the leakage is mapped to the thoughts, the type of thought which is called as vikal, which is in case of the presence of the internal vikar or a black layer. And the work done is mapped to the soul engine as a karma. Now there are two states. One is ideal state and another is a real state. So in ideal state, the lubrication for the Prakriti is mapped to the Swadharma or Q for the Purush, and it is based on only the external factors, and that is why this is deterministic, where real state or friction or black layer is mapped to the vikar of the Purush, and which is internal and non-deterministic. So type of the state, whether ideal or real, controls the type of the karma. That we shall see. And also it controls the type of the death, whether it is going to be a deterministic or non-deterministic. Now, Nirvikari green area in Nirvikari world, we see this green area is being reduced owing to the external factors. Whereas in Vikari world, the green area is reduced because of the increase in the black layer. So green area maps to the lubrication or of the Prakriti or equivalent to emotional quotient or soul power or the Q quality of the soul. Whereas black area maps to the friction of the Prakriti, or which we will see that it maps to the Vikar of the Purush. In other words, we can also say that for Purush, these two states can be defined as whether happiness or the soul quality from inner world or a swadharma vis-a-vis the happiness which is sought from the outer world and thereby generating a vikar or a black layer. The journey of the specific souls in an ideal, nirvikari, deterministic, soul conscious world is consisting of the two yugs, namely golden age and a silver age, where inner world or swadharma reflects in the outer world, where we can say that karma is zero or akarma. Graphically, this journey is shown as a red line. Let us see the definition of vikar. So during the course of the journey of number of births, attachment to body increases. So self is identified by the body name and not by the soul number. That is what is the definition of Maya, or we can say illusion. So this is a journey from soul conscious to the body conscious, or we can say that new to the old, the natural phenomenon. As a result, inherent qualities of the soul, which is Shanti, Prem, Sukh, happiness, etc., is forgotten. But of course, they are vital for the survival of the soul. The way air, water, etc., are vital for the survival of the body because it is made up of the five elements. Now, as happiness is lost, then it has to be acquired from the outer world during the journey. As a result, vikar is attached to the soul as acquired sanskar, and it is internal to the soul, or the black layer is internal to soul, and that is the definition why Purush is considered as not nirlep, and this is identified as Purush is either a papatma or a punyatma. This is the five vikars are defined here. Now we navigate the journey of the all the souls in a real Vicari world and non-deterministic and body-conscious world consisting of these two yugs, namely Copper Age and Iron Age. Here the characteristic is that inner world is a Vicar, which is a black layer and which overrides the original sanskars. And that phenomena is reflected in outer world karma. So we can here define karma as negative, or we can say it is a vikarma. It is done in a body conscious state. And we have seen that it is a non-deterministic nature, implies that karmic guya gati is applicable during those karms. And this downward trend is controlled by the religious founder, which are incarnated from the soul world from time to time, as for example, Buddha, Christ, Ibrahim, Mahavir, Guru Nanak, etc. And this effect is shown as a black dotted line is converted into the black full line, reducing the slope of the journey. Or we can say that putting the brake on a spiritually downward train. And that is the job of religious founder. And this is shown, the journey is shown as a black line. So this was a Nirvikari world journey. This is a Vikari world journey. The overall journey is described where number of maximum births in each yuga are shown 8, 12, 21, and 42. Now, Purush is discharging as per only external or deterministic factors in a soul conscious Nirvikari world, the golden and silver age, where, where the number of maximum births are 8 and 12. Whereas in body conscious or Vikari world of the copper and iron age world, Purush is discharging more because of the internal Vikar. As per the formula, Purush Vikar, increase of Purush Vikar triggers the increase of the entropy of the Prakriti, and this keeps on happening till there is a thermal death. So this is the default journey of the script for all soul where EQ or soul power is discharging. And here the initial charge, the journey depends on the initial charge, which depends on the time of the first birth. So this is the uniform script relative, and every soul and experiences relatively 75% of the happiness is experienced by all souls. So this is the uniform script, and that is applicable to all the souls. And the number of births, copper age is 21, there is number of births when iron age is 42, so total number of births are 83. So that this journey we have seen. Now we know that all eternal things like Prahar, Hutu are cyclic and made up of four paths. Only Yug, which we have defined the four Yugs, is beyond the lifetime of the soul. Hence, cyclic nature which is there but is not visible. And this is all validated by theory of relativity specific and theory of relativity general. So where the script is linear as far as theory of relativity specific is concerned, theory of relativity general will say that the script has become circular. So script has become from line to circle. So that is proved by theory of relativity general. Also, quantum physics, where it is shown that observations, both the observations remain the same, that clockwise and cause and effect is the same. So it is a clockwise and anti-clockwise. These observations are same. So that is general, the script is cyclic. And we also know that history repeats. So there has to be the drama is cosmic drama is a cosmic cycle. Now let us see the mechanism of the cycle. To be a cycle, graphically we have to say that y has to become zero. And here we know that these parameters are vikar of Purush, and this is the entropy of the Prakriti. And we know that Nirvikari world, vikar of Purush, and for that to happen, the vikar of the Purush has to go down. And then entropy of the Prakriti will go down and become zero. And that happens at t is equal to t. But for that to happen, metaphysics has to override the physics phenomena, because physics, as per the physics, entropy S is always ever increasing. And this has to be reversed. So this reversal is only possible by the metaphysics phenomena, where vikar has to become zero. And if that has to happen, the placeholder for the metaphysics entity or that phenomena has to be somewhere at this particular point of time. And as far as yuga is concerned, it has to be somewhere here, so that arrow will go down and we will have a cycle of the period time. And that is the only way we can say the drama can become Kal Chakra. Now, the metaphysics entity is the most important actor, the Param Purush or Supreme Soul, God, which is a human soul with Q7, which we have seen is infinity, and it is always the charging frequency less than zero, where soul is always frequency greater than zero, is discharging. And why this phenomena is possible is because This is beyond Clause's entropy boundary of the universe. And plus there is no black layer of Vikar as it is beyond death and birth cycle. This cycle control mechanism of the Param Purush is that Y or Vikar of the soul has to become zero at T is equal to T. And so that Param Purush controls the Vikar of the Purush to zero. And that Vikar of the Purush zero makes entropy is equal to zero. And then that means we will cross the y-axis at t is equal to t, and that is the existence of the cosmic cycle is because of the Param Purush. And let us see what is the role of religious founders. The religious founder, they reduces the slope. So there was here a dotted line here. So if had this been dotted line, the time period would have been somewhere here. So the religious founder reduces slope of the black line to increase the period or the cycle time which we are having. Graphically, we can see. So we can say that Supreme Soul is the charger which can reduce, which can make the Vikar zero, whereas religious founders, they work as kind of a battery backup. Now we will see the incarnation of the Param Purush. And that phenomena is almost like the phenomena of religious founders, where two souls in one body, where with the body of the Jesus, which is a black, where the soul of the Jesus is black. The soul of Christ is incarnated. Same thing is in the body of Brahma, black layer, soul of Supreme Soul or Param Purush is incarnated. And this happens as per the Gita Shlok, Yada Yada, during the transition cycle from Vikari world to Nirvikari world, or we can call it as a Sangam Yug, Diamond Yug, or even a Gita Yug. And all this work has to be done using energy body, which is temporarily the energy body, and that work has to be done in angel world, where the energy body, angel world is temporarily created, and the work is transformation work is done in the angel world. So this is a third world is also created. So for this last yug before the completion of the cycle, so there is a which is either a spiritual or a settlement cycle, which is a metaphysics phenomena, which is triggered by the incarnation of Param Purush. And because cycle is inevitable for every soul as per this graph, this is as indicated by the yellow arrow, it is a unique or a durlabh opportunity to recognize the incarnation of Param Purush, for this is only a single, only one last 84th. It is a logical knowledge birth, or this is not a biological birth. And this period is now, before the end of the cycle, which is specific and dynamic to individual soul as indicated by yellow point on time axis. So this yellow point varies for every soul. Now why this is unique? This birth is unique. This is the unique birth where this is the maximum 84th birth. So this is a unique birth in the 84 and that helps in completing the cycle. Now we know there is a cycle time. So this cycle time is equal to 5,000 years. The reasons from scriptures that in Bible says that 3,000 years before Christ there was a heaven. And Christ's birth is 2,000 years. So this is 5,000, every 5,000 years that is going to be heaven. There is astronomical reasons where difference of the diameter, the sun and human world is 100. So, so area is around 10,000 ratio of the area. The way sun moves around its world, human world moves around its own axis, the axis of the sun every year, and it also scan the total surface of the sun. So that may take around 10,000 years. As per the statistics, population becomes zero after around 4,000 years. And in scriptures, they say that Kali Yuga is made up of 1200 divine years. But the 1200 divine years plus the transition period is of 50 years. So 1200 plus 50 multiplied by 4 is 5,000 years, assuming that all yugs are of the equal duration. So all that approximates that time period is around 5,000 years of the cosmic cycle. Now let us understand the phenomena for you. One of the ways to complete the cycle. And so vikar has to become zero. So this purification is a prerequisite to complete the cycle, to enter the soul world. And to happen that, let us follow the reverse process. The reverse process is we have to reduce, is the black layer is increasing, to reduce the black layer. And that happens by the yolk. So we have to reduce this black layer. And another thing is that we have to, once black layer is reduced, we have to attain the original charge, which is lost in the first two yugs. And also we have to generate the script. We have to generate this script, which is a soul conscious script for Nirvikari or a deterministic world. We can say the Swarnim Bharat. And based on the principle that change in sanskar can only happen, means change in sansar, means from Vikari world to Nirvika can only happen if we change our sanskar. And this both this phenomena is visible by becoming God conscious in spite of the vikar to become a soul conscious. And that becoming God conscious is the real definition of astik. And that happens only by matching the frequency of Param Purush to the frequency of God. And that happens by changing the lifestyle, and that is the lifestyle of the purity. And that lifestyle, imposing impose the lifestyle of purity is very logical because this is the last birth of this particular cycle. And once we match the frequency with Param Purush, then we will experience the presence of God based on the tangible results. So that is what is the science of Raj Yoga. So we will experience the telepathy or communication with the God. When we match the frequency, we will experience the Atindriya Sukh. Because of the Yoga, if we are destroying the yoga, the principle of the focus of the lens, we burn off the vikar, the way we burn the paper, we will feel the change in our personality. And of course, by charging our soul power or resilience will increase and our suffering will almost become zero in spite of pain. So now let us see the cycle completion phenomena, either by yoga, red line, or a black line. So yoga is based on the God conscious karma, which is a karma is positive, and the black line is based on karma cross, or we can say the karma bhog. And this karma bhog is, of course, is based on Newton's third law, action is equal to reaction. But this here, in this case, it could be a delayed reaction based on maybe number of births. Now, because the pain is inevitable because of the body conscious karma or the vikarma done by every soul, and that has to be nullified either with suffering or means karma bhog, either with suffering or karma bhog, or positive karma or a shrestha karma, where there will not be any suffering based on this principle because the soul power, because of soul charging, soul power increasing. So that's the stress, which is a pressure divided by resilience. The stress or the feeling of the suffering would reduce. And not only that, there will not be suffering, but we have to write a deterministic script for the new world of the 20 births during this one Durlabh birth in transition world or a diamond world. This, of course, is applicable for only a critical mass of the 33 crore souls. And this happens in spite of the black layer because of the God conscious, because the help of the God, where the Q is infinity. So in spite of the black layer, we can generate the karma which we were generating in a nirvikari world. So this phenomena is possible. So because we are imbibing the swadharma inside. And so output will also be like a nirvikari world. And this mechanical of reversal, which is happening here, this mechanism of the reversal of the leakage or exergy is happens either red line is by the Shrestha Sankalp or a God conscious Sankalp or either through a Paschatap where delta is less than zero and that is why through metaphysics phenomena or God conscious phenomena the cycle is completed. And let us see the return journey from human world to soul world. But this return journey is a simultaneous end of cycle journey of all souls from human world to soul world and is triggered by when the soul count becomes zero. Whereas we have seen that entry is one by one, but exit, or we can say that Kayamat or Mahabharata or World War III or Prakriti transformation by natural calamities, all has to happen. And the residual purification that happens in his angel world. Now we know that the Purush transition to the Vam mark, which happens twice in the cycle when it happens from Nirvikari world to Vikari world transition and now from Vikari world to Nirvikari world transition. And we know that, and this happens every 2500 years. We know that Purush controls the Prakriti. So Vam work of the Purush controls the initialization of the Prakriti. So history is initialized every half cycle and at a time only 2500 years of the history is remembered. And our answer is that हम कहाँ से आए और कहाँ जाना है. So answer is we are coming from the soul world and coming from the soul world, enjoying the journey in human world and going back to the soul world. And this is to and fro journey. Now we see the next cycle or the re-entry, and that is possible because there is nothing like nirvana, because soul energy cannot be destroyed or created. There is no lean or merging of the souls. As per the quantum physics, fractions are not allowed. If 1 plus 2 and merge, it will become 1.5. So that is not allowed. So the cycle is described in Mahabharata. So the sequence is there is a Gita, then there is a Mahabharata, and there is a Sadgati. So Gita is nothing but a Vikar Yudh. So that is prerequisite, or we can say Maya Yudh. So it is a prerequisite to become eligible for soul world or even a Nirvikari world. that followed by the Mahabharata or transformation and followed by the Sadgati, or we can say it is called as the Jivan Mukti in the next birth, in new world, or Nirvikari world or new cycle. The three God functions, normally the generation that happens through Brahma, Raj Yoga, which generates the Nirvikari world, and that is by purifying the souls, making them nirvikari. Then the next one is destruction, or the Mahabharata, or World War III, or natural calamities. Happens, of course, automatically, but by the Mahesh, or the that is the D of the God. And then O of the God is the operation, is operational things, is the Sadgati. So Sadgati we have to enjoy in Nirvikari world, and which is without Vikar, and that happens by a Vishnu. So Vishnu, and that is happens in the Devi Sanskruti. So this is how the functions of the God. And Vishnu is nothing but is, we can call it as Lakshmi Narayana, and which is almost equivalent to Adam Eve, if there's some scriptures. And all this happens in the angel world, and those work are done by the energy bodies of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. We are now talking about the total four types of the soul. The first type is the deity, where characteristic is it only enters into the Nirvikari world. Second, where is a script is a soul conscious and body conscious. Here the script is only body conscious script. Here the entry happens only in Vikari world, and some of the souls of the deity world also comes in every soul has to come in Vikari world, so that we can call it they are Hindu, and these souls of the Vikari world coexist with souls of Ibrahim religion, Christian religion, and Buddhism religion, the main religions. Then the third soul is a religious founder. That also comes in the Vikari world, I mean this part of the human tree. And but the characteristic is that the first birth is by incarnation, and next birth, subsequent births are the womb of the mother. And fourth and most important type of the soul is supreme soul, or Param Purush. And it is only birth happens in the transient world or Sangam Yuga, and which is at the top of the tree. And we see that all the souls happens in the descending order of the Q, or the charge on inverted tree. So the supreme soul has infinity charge, deity soul have higher charge. These souls will have lesser charge, and religious founders will have relatively higher charge, but less than the deity soul charge. We know that it is the energy of the soul, and it is controlled by the script of the souls. The soul energy is thoughts, and that also changes as per the yuga. So in Nirvikari world, it is it is a sankalp. In this Nirvikari world, it is a sankalp, and it is maps into the karma is equal to zero. In Vikari world, It is a vikalp, and where karma is negative or a vikarma. In transient world, there are two options. One is Shrest Sankalp, so that corresponds to the karma is equal to positive or Shrest Karma, or karma is equal to karma bhog, or it is Sankalp will be a Pashatap. And we also see that this script, it generates the thoughts or vibe. Let us see the sankalps here. Karma is zero, so this is a sankalp. Karma is negative, is vikalp. This karma is positive, is a shresh sankalp. Karma is karma bhog is equal to the paschata. And we see that script generates the thoughts and which are all vibrations, which in turn results in karma. So many branches of the physics, many branches of the physics are trying to explain based on the classical mechanics where size is macro and the quantum mechanics the size is micro or quantum. So there is a quantum physics. This is law of thermodynamics for action reaction. Plus where the speed is equivalent to the speed of the light, so theory of relativity. So which has explained the script. So this theory of relativity, quantum physics, thermodynamics, Newton's laws, and all those laws, if we have to combine into one model, which will a mathematical model, the theory of everything. So irrespective of the size or the speed. And so that theory is being developed or being matured so that we will be able to understand, means physics will be able to understand some of the metaphysics phenomena. Now the difference between a Gyan Marg and a Bhakti Marg is explained. So Gyan Marg is a Sukshma Marg. It is based on the Swadharma. It is a direct communication with Param Purush. And the Gyan Marg souls, they follow the total cycle with the role reversal, means from Pavan to Pati, Pujya to Pujari, Smriti to Vismriti, or Pavitra to Vammarg, which is this is in Nirvikari world and this is in Vikari world. Uh, and that is, of course, based on the script is applicable to the conscious mind, and that follows this M or a red path, God conscious path, a spiritual mode. Vis-a-vis the Bhakti Marg, which is full, it is the, full processes, puja path, and it is based on the Janma Dharma. And this is indirectly communication with the Supreme Soul. And of course, it is obvious that all the souls have to follow the Bhakti Marg. So whoever even goes to the Nirvikari world, in Vikari world, it is always a Bhakti Marg. This Gyan Marg is only during this transition state, and that is only after the incarnation of the Supreme Soul. So this Bhakti Marg is applicable to everyone, and it is applicable to the non-history of the world, and that Bhakti mark is, of course, is validated by physics. So this is, this physics. This is an auto mode. Now the definition of the Adhyatma, becoming a God conscious, is ultimate objective is from becoming body conscious to the soul conscious by becoming God conscious. And it generates the 4H, namely the happiness of the mind, health of the body, physical body, then harmony with other souls, which is based on the vibration, and of course controlling the Prakriti, so heaven, by giving the good vibrations to the five elements. And by happening this vikars, so this acquired vikar during the journey are acquired, and that will come to the original state. And that is what is the Kal Chakra. So the Kal Chakra is nothing but generating the vikar and then releasing the vikar. And that is also explained in our law of thermodynamics. See, this is explained here. This is nirlep. So this vikar is acquired here, vikar is acquired here, and they are nullified by either this thing. So here DSG is generated by as per the normal physics, and this DSG is negated by this, and because of this, there is a phenomena of the cosmic cycle. Plus, plus this is how the heat engine and the soul engine they are mapped. So the entropy is mapped with the Rushvika. So that also has been explained. So this is the law where we can say that as per the physics, so everything is going down. And, and this is the cycle for the four yugs. With the introduction of the metaphysics entity, this going down gets converted into a cycle. And we know that period of the cycle is 5,000 years. And this happens as per the red cycle or a blood cycle. So these are the two options. So there was a law number one, law of the cycle. Then these are the two options. And of course, there is going to be a poetic justice. If you do it through this Purusha, then you will get a pralab. Otherwise, we'll come back again to the Vikari world. So this Purushartha, the Pralaya. So these are the laws. Uh, we talked about Gita. So this is some of the references of Gita, which is the by given a Mahabharata. So which is some of the references which are relevant to our cosmic cycle. And the laws which we have explained, the main laws, some of the sub-laws are explained here. So these are the five laws. So these four laws were explained. And this is the beginning and no cycle. And this is the only way is the spirituality is also explained here. Now let us see the total overview of the cosmic cycle in a single or one screen. So it's kind of a revision. So let us see there is a space dimension. In space dimension, which is there are three worlds. This is a soul world. This is the angel world. And there is a and this part is human world, represented by the entropical boundary. In the soul world, we can see that there is a religious tree. So that's all come to the human world one by one. Now we'll talk about time dimensions. The time dimensions, there are four yugs: gold, silver, copper, iron, and diamond yug. Then this yug will have 84 births that we have seen. There are three types of the world: Nirvikari world, Vikari world, and the diamond world or a transient world. And there are four types of the karma. So which is karma is zero, which is in Nirvikari world. Karma is negative in Vikari world. Karma is positive. In the diamond world, if the red line path is preferred, karma is equal to cross or bhog. If it is black line is preferred. So three types of the world, four types of the karma, and each karma corresponds to a sankalp. So in Nirvikari world, it is a sankalp. In Vikari world, it is vikalp. Here in red line is a Shrestha sankalp. The black line is Pashyata. So there are four actors, I mean the four types of the soul based on the script types. So 80 souls, they enter only in Nirvikari world. There are souls who only enter in Vikari world. Most of the souls, religious founder, they enter in Vikari world, but the first birth is always going to be Avtaran. And there is, of course, Supreme Soul or Param Purush that happens in the diamond world. That Avtaran reincarnation happens in the dining world. Plus, there is another actor is a Prakriti. So we know the Purush, there is a Prakriti, and Param Purush is a type of the Purush where Q is equal to infinity plus different characteristics. Then we have seen the four important laws. So this is the law one, and cycle is law two, and the cycle red and black is law three, and then there is a this thing, there is justification. If there is you do the Purusha, then you get the Prala. So these are the four laws, and there is a sub laws of the first birth, laws of the death, and laws of the subsequent life and death. Here also, these two, this is we can define as heaven, this is the hell, and some character of the hell are described in scriptures, which we'll experience in angel world, with the final purification. Then we have seen this seven circles, one, two, three, four, five, six, and seven. So this is discharging. In diamond world, there is a charging, so it is coming back to the original state. So if for the critical mass of the, this is the original state, and there is an additional state which is generated. And for body conscious souls, so this is generated by the book, so there's no additional script is generated. There is a metaphysics phenomena of Raj Yoga with frequency matching and all that has been explained. Uh, and that is Avtaran, etc. is explained. Then three God functions by Brahma. So this is a generation of the new Nirvikari world by purifying the souls. That is explained. Then because of that, there is a purification or the simultaneous entry or, Kayamat. That happens through the Mahesh. And once this happens, this purifies the Vikari world. The automatically newer world is generated and is operated by Vishnu. So this is God functions are explained. And the references of the which we have all seen thermodynamics, quantum physics, theory of relativity, specific general neuroscience, mm, merge not possible, theory of everything, metaphysics, we have seen incarnation, and we have seen what is the now time, what is the significance. We have also seen the references of Gita, and we have seen the uh, references of the law. And to conclude, we can say that completion of the rotation of the cosmic cycle or Kal Chakra is inevitable. How that happens? So either soul gets pulled in automatic mode by becoming by not matching the frequency with the God or not recognizing the God. So it will be a silent spectator. Or or push or purushas by matching the frequency of the God or changing the lifestyle for this the last birth. So by becoming the genuine astic, and then we imbibe the lifestyle of the spirituality and do the purusha, and we'll get the pralab of the entry into the nirvikari world of the 2500 years.